like to take a few minutes and talk about these rudiments from hell which I've developed. The rudiments from hell are basically standard rudiments which I've altered to make more difficult, and sometimes they're purposefully so difficult that you can hardly play them. And I found that that's really helped my control and my technique. Where they came from, I'd have to say, came from a gentleman by the name of Rob Carson, who heads up the marching drum department at Remo Incorporated. Rob is a 3-time world champion rudimental drummer, and his hands are phenomenal. And he showed me a couple of stickings that dealt with hand-to-hand flams, and another concept, which is the concept of the flammed rough, which really opened up my playing. Now, a flammed rough, I believe I discussed earlier, but it's basically where you have a grace note, and then instead of coming down with a single stroke, you come down with a double stroke. So you have this little double there, and it creates a texture that's unlike playing 3 single strokes. It just has this sort of blah little texture to it that's a wonderful thing. And with some of these rudiments, I've developed the ability to be able to play these flammed roughs or flams kind of hand to hand and put them in any places in the beat. And this is a great help when getting back and forth around the drums and soloing around the toms. So having said that, and having said that you'll have these a lot of these variations written out in the little exercise book, I'm just going to demonstrate a few of them for you now. This one here is had its roots in a single flammed mill, and I've added a flammed rough where the flam was to make it more difficult. And this deals with a situation where I'm coming off of one of these flammed roughs, which has a double stroke, and I have to immediately play another right. So I have to recover from the double and play another single immediately, and that's what's so difficult about it and what's so challenging. So when I do these, they sound very discombobulated and kind of like you know, like a broken gallop or something. They're not very precise, but they're interesting technique builders. Okay, now this next one is coming from a flam tap, and only I've replaced the flams with flammed roughs, so I call it a fluff tap. All right, now this next one is a variation of a rudiment called the pata-fla-fla. And that basically has hand-to-hand flams over the bar line, or over the bar line, let's say, if you're talking about a 4-note pattern. And I've replaced those hand-to-hand flams with hand-to-hand flammed roughs, which are very difficult to play. So here's pata-fluff-fluff. All right, and finally, we have kind of a variation on paradiddle-diddle. And I've got some extra flams and flammed roughs in it, so it's kind of complicated. I just want to say in closing that I know a lot of the techniques I've been utilizing are going to seem very advanced if you're a young drummer and you're just starting out. I don't want you to be overwhelmed by the material that I'm presenting here. It's more to just be inspirational, and you have to keep in mind that it took me a long time to get to the point where I could do some of these things, and I'm still working